What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday over here. Bitcoin currently trying to get back on top of 27K as we speak. Some pretty important updates for Bitcoin that we got to talk about in terms of the charts, because if it is able to get back on top of 28K zone, it's going to be looking a lot better for the altcoins, at least in the short term. But if it gets a pullback over here, definitely want to watch out, especially if you're long on these altcoins, because it's most likely going to be dragging altcoins down. So very important to be paying attention to the Bitcoin market right now. It is in a very tight range. We're going to get into the charts. Of course, the main topic here will be about Internet Computer Token, ICP. See what has gone on in this market since the last time I've talked about it a couple of days ago. Is this going to be the reversal of ICP? Is there more upside coming for this token? Going to be taking a look into some upside and downside price targets for this token, as well as some key price levels to be paying attention to in order for ICP to go either direction. I'm going to be giving you guys my personal opinions and what I am personally doing in the markets later in this video, so make sure to be staying around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very much be wrong. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear markets. And I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So you guys feel the same way. If you guys are feeling pumped on this Sunday morning, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. All right, so it's going to be my first post here today. So we're going to be talking about Bitcoin into a little more detail, right? It is very important to know what is going on in here right now. It looks like we had some movement over the weekend, contrary to the usual expectations. All right, so on this daily time frame here, we have been trying to get back on top of this daily 200 SMA, which is a very important moving average. I'm sure all traders, investors, or at least the ones who has a clue, would be paying attention to this, okay? Daily 200 SMA at about 28K, the orange line here. Very important for Bitcoin to get back on top of this level. Then we are basically considered back in real technical bullish territory here, okay? I'll give you guys my opinion later on, but that's the technical situation, okay? Now, price action has been running quite some time in the variation of patterns here. So this is my newest estimation on what could be going on. I think we actually do have a rising wedge here. I would consider this to be a rising wedge on this 12-hour time frame. We have 3 candles very close to touching. The second candle very close to touching. I'm going to consider this to be a rising wedge. It is usually a bearish pattern. It usually breaks to the downside, okay? It is not in the bull's favor. Of course, there is still a chance that it breaks to the upside, okay? Now, let's take a look into what's going on in here. Within this rising wedge pattern, we have a falling channel. Okay, falling channels usually break to the upside. So it's an interesting scenario here because we have a smaller bullish pattern within a bigger bearish pattern. So let's see if, if this kind of, if this would basically take the price action up for another swing here, for a possible breakout, okay? I mean, I'm just saying in terms of the probabilities, it's not in the bull's favor. You guys can verify that, okay? Google search, ChatGPT, rising wedge, don't just take my word for it, okay? I'm just reading you the technical definition. Okay, so that is basically what I'm looking at. Let's see if Bitcoin is able to break out of this falling channel. Probably take another swing to the upside, close on top of the 28K zone. That's going to be looking a lot better for the altcoins, at least in the short term, okay? And then the next signal I'll be looking for would be the weekly 200 SMA, which is kind of getting away from that 28K zone now. Okay, it's about 28.2. So, the weekly candle is going to be closing in a couple hours. So I expect that to be going away further to the upside. So that is something to be looking out for. Okay, so the 28K zone is not just going to be a very small range, because now we have the weekly 200 SMA to consider as well. That's taking off from that. Now let's also consider back here for the rising wedge here, right? If this breaks down in the next couple of days, the measure move is going to take you down to 23.6K area. Okay, that's not going to be good for Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay, that would basically tell me you're going to break down from this weekly double top pattern, as well as I've been talking about for the last couple of months. Okay, that is going to be flipping my opinion from overall bullish to overall bearish. Okay. All right, so that's basically what I'm seeing for Bitcoin here. Let's take a look into ICP, see what has gone on since the last time we have talked about it. ICP here, we have the price currently at about almost $3.15, up over 1% today. Not too much movement over this weekend. Well, correction. There has actually been some movement over the weekend. I was just looking at the weekly candle. Okay, so talked about this. Okay, two smaller falling wedges that broke to the upside, right? They both broke to the upside, which the probabilities are in favor of. And then we have this bigger falling wedge that's probably more easily seen on the weekly time frame. Measure move is going to be about $7.60 area. Measure moves are estimates only. Okay. It could be over and under. It really just depends on the type of market that we're in. In my opinion, right now, we're still in a very iffy market. I've seen a lot of altcoins, even, analyses I have done on this channel, that I've seen altcoins break out of their downtrends, and they just run and don't do anything for a while. Sometimes even go down before getting a pump. Okay, so a lot of what ifs to be looking out for, even if the price action breaks out of their long-term downtrends or medium-term downtrends. Okay, so right now, price action did break out of two smaller falling wedges. Let's see if these breakouts would take this price action up to this bigger falling wedge, this upper trend line of the bigger falling wedge, for another attempt to break out. Okay, so just gonna have to take it step by step here, right? In order to see what's happening on the bigger time frame, you want to come down to the smaller time frame and see if you can get any clues on if it's gonna come over here to the upper trend line, or is it gonna go towards the bottom trend line. Now, this price action broke out of the smaller falling wedge. Most recently, measure target is about $3.30 area. Okay, slightly under, right? Talked about this double bottom as well. Okay. So we have a couple of bullish scenarios here, right? If this price action is able to come back here to about $3.35, which is that neckline of that double bottom scenario. Double bottoms usually break to the upside as well. If it's able to come back here to about the $3.35 area for a retest and break out of it, the measure move of that double bottom will be about $3.85 area. Okay. Again, measure moves are estimates only. Take that with a grain of salt. Let's take a look into some key price levels to be paying attention to in order for ICP to break to the upside. Immediate resistance, it's going to be the daily 50 SMA. Since we haven't gotten a solid close on top of this moving average, I still consider this to be resistance, okay? It's going to be $3.13 area. Even though we're at $3.14, I still consider it to be resistance. We haven't gotten a close. Daily 200 SMA, the orange line, $4.25 area, pretty in line with this upper trend line of this bigger falling wedge. You guys can repeat the same exercise to identify moving averages as resistances and supports. on the 3-day time frame, weekly time frame, monthly time frame, whatever time frames you guys are interested in. I consider the daily to the monthly, my personal preference. Okay, so we're not going to do that here for time's sake, and it's going to bore the shit out of you. So let's take a look into some supports. Immediate support, daily 21 SMA, $3.08. Going to be more, or even $3.10 area. It's going to come up anyways. Okay, the blue line here. We're going to take a look into previous trading history as well. That's also another way of identifying key supports and resistances. I think ICP has already visited its all-time lows not too long ago. So I'm going to come over here to the smaller time frame and take a look into the more clear range here. All-time low was at about $2.80 area. So, you know, if you break daily 21 SMA and you break $2.80 area, we're gonna have to come back here to rechart what's going on here. So if you guys do want to continue seeing ICP, do like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know that you guys do want to see more of this coin. I will bring you guys an update if enough of you guys want to see it. Right? If it does break $2.80 area, the only other estimate I can give you would be based on this bottom trend line here, assuming that this price action continues running within this falling wedge pattern or falling channel pattern. Well, either way, they usually break to the upside. Okay. Now, what I am personally doing in this market is I am going to be liquidating my long spots, and I'm going to be trading leverage both ways. Even though my overall opinion on this market is still bullish because we have been able to stay away from that breakdown of that double top pattern, 24.7K area would be the neckline. We are in this really tight range, okay, which is it's going to take a lot of patience to hold. I've been holding quite a bit of losers since earlier this year, and I have been getting more consistent results trading leverage for the past couple of weeks. Trading both ways, especially when Bitcoin is in this tight range. So, you know, it could change from week to week. So that is basically what I'm doing. Let me know what you guys are doing. Are you guys holding? Are you guys trading short term? What are you guys trading? How is this market treating you? Thank you very much. I'll see you guys on the next post.